asked me to marry him.
No.
I wasn't really asking.
Nor was I. Love doesn't always end well, Beastie.
Trust me. Let us prove you wrong.
Al final de Maléfica vimos que la princesa Aurora y el príncipe Felipe estaban más que enamorados. Y ahora en Maléfica 2, Dueña del Mal, veremos que la unión de sus reinos, más que amor, podría desatar una guerra.
You have done an admirable job going against your own nature to raise this child. But now, she will finally get the love of a real mother. Tonight, I consider Aurora my own.
There is no union. There will be no wedding.
What have you done?
We go home now. Aurora!
La diseñadora de vestuario de Maléfica 2, Dueña del Mal, Ellen Miroshnik, platicó con nosotros acerca de cuál fue la mayor reacción de los actores de esta película al ver su vestuario.
Which was the biggest reaction you got from the actors?
Well, that's a really, really good question. Everybody reacted in their own big way at different times. I think Michelle, as Queen Ingrid, was the biggest reaction out of all of them. I think that was like the biggest because she came last to the film and we had prepared quite a lot for her to fit, and she was, I think, pretty overwhelmed. But I think it was the biggest reaction. And when Elle Fanning as Aurora tried her wedding dress, she just screamed with delight, because when we made the toile of the dress, she just spun and spun and spun and spun and spun, and it was beautiful to watch. And then when we put the train on the dress, she couldn't do the same, but she squealed with glee. It was great.
Maleficent is a threat to everyone. We'll do our best to protect you.
Well, well.
I saw a lot of references to the classic, maybe Sleeping Beauty dresses and the feel. How much inspiration do you actually get from that, and how much comes from other sources?
Oh, well, the Sleeping Beauty was absolutely essential. It was the anniversary, of course. And what Elle Fanning was so psyched about in the beginning was we have to have something of Sleeping Beauty. We have to have something. So what we did is, in her costume that she wears to dinner, we used the Sleeping Beauty shaped collar for her gown, although we added fairy elements, meaning of hand-embroidered flowers and attached to gauze and have things drippy and all kind of made by the fairies. But there was just a note and a reference to Sleeping Beauty. But then in the end, I was very happy to make a brand new Sleeping Beauty dress, which I think is just beautiful. It's very, I think it's modern, but it's very relevant for Sleeping Beauty today.
Tell me what happened.
There was another creature.
You've spent years caring for a human. Now it's time to care for your own.
En esta película descubrimos que Maléfica no es la única de su especie. ¿Cuáles fueron los retos de vestir a todas estas hadas oscuras? Ellen Miroshnik nos cuenta.
They were a whole group of new characters, and I really don't think it was a battle. It was just a challenge, a continual challenge till we got to shoot them. They had wings, they had horns, they came from different places, and what was that going to look like? Were they creatures? Were they real? Were they humankind? Were they not humankind? Were they combinations? What were they? And because it was all brand new, we had to discover it along the way. And so that was the biggest challenge.
One can never be too careful.
how much do you actually think about the filming process and how there's gonna be lights all around and how the cameras and the movement?
As a costume designer and working in film or any cinematic platform, you have to think about it all, you have to know about it all. As a designer, I don't just go in a room and sketch or say, oh, wouldn't it be great if? No, there are many different parts, but what's most important is when you talk with the director and the cinematographer and the production designer in the beginning, to know what the tonality that they're going to want to reach, how grand is it, what camera is going to be used, what's the lens, what's the light, what's the movement. And with the Fae particularly, what was that movement? Because they stand, but they really fly. So how is that going to be captured? And on our set, it was a question of how much green screen, how much reality. So this was many different layers that we had to absolutely know before we began.
Godmother! This isn't you!
You do not know me.